Hi, it's Congresswoman Jan Schakowsky, and I'm back with my plans and pans. Well, it is 1 week until perhaps the most consequential midterm election that we've seen in decades. I'm not going to tell you who to vote for, but I am hoping that as a person with the benefit of having a right to vote, that I hope you'll take that opportunity. People say that these races are in the margin of error. I like to say that they're still in the margin of effort, meaning that if you have favorites, go out and work hard to make that happen. I wanted to talk to you about price gouging. We have seen, particularly during the pandemic and beyond, that corporations have decided to raise their prices beyond what their costs are. That's what really price gouging is, that they didn't need to, except that they wanted to. What we know is that two major grocery chains, and that is Albertsons and Kroger, are seeking to merge with one another. And what we know is that they have a history of literally price gouging. In fact, my subcommittee had a hearing and found that during the pandemic that Kroger made record profits, $132 billion in profits in 2020. And at the same time, they lowered the wages of their workers by 8%. Really? And so I am with Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren, those two senators, have written to the Federal Trade Commissions to deny their seeking of this merger, that we don't need them to join hands now with their history of price gouging. Just to know that that Jewel is owned by Albertsons and Mariano's is owned by Kroger. So this could affect our communities right here at home. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about Clarence Thomas, Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas, and repeated concerns about conflict of interest because his wife had been very involved in the planning, but certainly support of the January 6th insurrection, and not allowing for Joe Biden to be certified as President of the United States. What Justice Clarence Thomas did was to rule that Lindsey Graham would not have to go before a grand jury in a situation where Lindsey Graham was trying to go after the Secretary of State of Georgia, Brad Raffensperger, who, by the way, is a Republican, who would not go along with the plot to say that the President of the United States, Joe Biden, should not be certified. And so he is still feeling free to intervene in situations that have to do with the insurrection, with the efforts to deny Joe Biden to be the proper president of the United States. Thought you might want to know. I had the privilege of going to an incredible high school this week in the 9th Congressional District. It's on Wilson Avenue in Uptown, and it's called Uplift. And I'll tell you, it was a really uplifting experience. This is a terrific school that students can sign up for. It's not necessarily a neighborhood school, but what it provides for, among so many other things, is dual credit to graduate from high school and at the same time working with Truman College, which is right next door to it, to get 2 years of a college degree. That's an associate's degree that you can get at the same time when you graduate at Uplift. But we had a great visit with the principal, who showed us around the school with the most modern technology for students when it comes to music and even doing podcasts. there, an incredible swimming pool. I don't know if it's really Olympic size, but it looked really big and beautiful, beautiful to me. It's called a STEAM program. You've heard of STEM, which is about science and technology and math, etc., but also the arts are included in their curriculum, adding up to STEAM. Just a fantastic school that I think is kind of not really known enough about. They have an enrollment that could be increased, and we're hoping that I can work with the school and help them get the word out about what a wonderful community it is in Uplift High School, and in serving all diverse members of the community. One of the other really uplifting and heartwarming experiences was I was able to go to the groundbreaking in Skokie, Illinois, for a cafe and general store that will be opening next year called Will's Place. Will is a young man who has disabilities. It's very hard for him to communicate, and he's one of many Americans that has a disability. Now, when Will was in high school, and he went to Niles West, his class made him the homecoming king. I mean, he's a terrific, upbeat kind of a person, really an inspiring young man. But like many others in this country, millions in this country who have disabilities, at the age of 22, age out of benefits that they get from the state and other government agencies, etc. And what we find is over 85% of people then with disabilities have a hard or impossible time of finding a job. And so it's this quick drop off when you reach the age of 22, when there's really so little opportunity. So now at Will's Place, there is going to be this great cafe that people can go to that will hire people with disabilities to work there. It's right in the middle of downtown Skokie, so it's in a great place, and I look forward to seeing it open sometime next year. I also had another great opportunity. I was invited to an event sponsored by J Street. It's an organization whose motto is pro-Israel, pro-peace. And I was invited particularly because my rabbi, Andrea London, at Beth Emet Synagogue, which is kind of down the street from me, that I've been a member of for a very long time, was being honored by J Street for the Justice and Peace Award. She represents a number of people in the clergy in our community who not only serve people of their own religion, but really get involved in interfaith politics and always standing up for justice for all people, making sure that she's present not only in our synagogue, but also feeding people. We have a pantry there that feeds people every single week at the synagogue. So she's very much into service and to justice and peace. Finally, let me tell you about COVID. We continue to be on the right track and the low levels of infection. Cook County and the surrounding counties are all in the green low transmission zone. On Friday, 3,449 people had COVID and nine people died. Once again, let me remind you that this is the last running down the clock when it comes to a very, very important election. And you don't want to miss your opportunity to choose the leaders that you want. So do it. Get out to vote. Thanks, and I'll see you next week. Thank you for watching my video. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, where my handle is @Jan Schakowsky.